Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Mega Action Series Optimus Prime, which is a gigantic Optimus Prime figure. It does not transform, and I know that's a huge problem for a lot of people, and I get it. It is a Transformers figure that doesn't transform, but it is officially licensed, and it is massive. It's a humongous Optimus figure that does have some light in it, so it's pretty awesome. And it has really great articulation. So I'm going to go through all of that so you guys can see if it's actually something you'll want to pick up, because it is a really big Optimus figure, and it comes in at a really low price point at around $180 depending on where you get it. It will be in stock at Big Bad Toy Store very soon though, so if you're interested you'll want to check out the link in the description below. But first, let's go over everything so you can see if you actually want to buy one. This guy stands just about 19 inches tall to the top of his little earpieces, which makes him right around 49 centimeters. So he does have a lot of size to him. He's not quite in scale with anything else, but he's really close to your average G.I. Joe figure, or I guess there are other small figures, like I guess Star Wars or something. I don't know. But he's pretty close to that. I guess that's, what is that, 1/18 scale, something like that. But he's got a lot of bulk to him. A lot of people don't like the fact that the red isn't quite the fire engine red or whatever red that they like. It's got a little bit of a duller look to it, but I don't mind it. I think it looks okay. He's definitely really bulky. He's not show accurate, but he does match some iterations of Optimus fairly well. I personally like the really bulky look, and I don't mind that it's not show accurate. As far as light up features, we do have a light up feature in the head. Now the batteries that he requires do not come with him in the package. You need to order some for yourself or go to the store, but if you go to like CVS or someplace, they're really expensive. There's a set of 20 of these batteries on Amazon for like $4. So that's what you want to do. That's what I got, and they work very nicely. The eyes light up very well. You can see even with the harsh lighting, they're very bright. They look awesome. Now they are dark blue when they're not lit up, so that is a problem for some people. They want them to look lit up all the time without having to light them up. I don't know, I guess you have to make a trade-off, figure out what you want. The other light up feature comes from inside of his chest. We have the matrix. It's very hard for me to light it up while it's in there, but there's a button on here, and this also requires batteries, so you can press that and light it up. And this one is basically just a single LED that shoots right out the front, so it doesn't look the best, and it's incredibly bright, especially at nighttime if you look right at it. But it does light up, so if you want that option, you have it. I suppose if you put it in this way, you can make it light up easier inside, but I'm pretty sure it goes like this. But the matrix does fit in there, so that's a nice touch. It's not the best fit in the world. And that's kind of indicative of this entire figure. You're getting a whole lot of figure for 170 bucks. So it's not the highest quality in the world. It does feel plasticky, but it is very nice for what it is. Most of the paint job is very clean. We do have some translucent plastic throughout for the windshield and crotch area and things like that. It does look good for what it is. I'm personally very happy with it. And most of that comes from the articulation, because the articulation is just fantastic. But before we get to that, we do have one accessory in addition to the matrix, which is his blaster, which is gigantic, and it's painted fairly well. It looks very nice. It is hollow feeling, but it does look very nice, and you can hold it with the peg that's on the handle for the gun. Now, let's talk articulation, because this is the most impressive thing about this guy, and this is why we have to deal with this kind of plasticky feeling, because they had to put the money somewhere and they chose to put it in the articulation. For the head, the neck is on a ball peg and the head is on a ball peg on top of that. So you can move the head around pretty much however you need to. It works very well. And also the batteries for the head go right in the head, so there's no worry about breaking wires or anything like that. For the shoulders, we have a very nice mechanism that allows the shoulders to move forward and back. So we have like a butterfly joint in there, so that's really good. See, best way for me to show you this would be like this, I guess. And the other cool thing about the shoulders is that they pull out and push in to afford even better range. So you do have that there. You have the swivel, which ratchets to allow the arm to go all the way around, no problem. And you, of course, can do that with it closed or open. So once it's out, that's fine. But when it's out, you can also bring the arm all the way up this way. Incredible range of motion on this guy. So you can really pose this however you want to. You can bring the arm pretty far out, bring it across his chest a little bit. He can hold his gun with two hands, no problem. And that's because we have a really nice bicep swivel right here. We have a double jointed elbow. which works just really, really wonderfully. Now this front part on this right arm can get a little bit loose, especially once you put the gun in. Even though it's hollow, it can be a little heavy for it, but it still works very nicely, and you can even get it to hold itself. It just sometimes on mine wants to fall down. Now another cool feature on this guy is that the wrist is actually on a ball peg, so you can move the entire wrist around however you want to. I saw on the one Transformers website some people were complaining that the hand doesn't have a hinge, but it doesn't need it because it has this ball peg in here. So that's pretty cool. So you also have that swivel on top of that ball peg for full range, and the fingers are articulated individually, just like a real human hand. So you have every knuckle and the ball peg for where it connects, so you can move the fingers around very, very well, and the thumb. So you can pretty much pose the hand however you need to. You won't have any trouble with that. Can you guys? Yeah, I think you guys can see that. This guy's bigger than even the normal 18-inch figures that I review, so that's why I'm doing it standing up like this. Hopefully you guys are okay with this. I know you can't see all of the details as well this way, but hopefully you can see them enough. Another really cool feature about this guy is he actually has an ab crunch. It's not the best in the world, but it works. You can lean him back one notch, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty good range. Go back to neutral, and then you can also lean him forward one notch to give you a little bit of extra posability. You also have your waist twist, which works just fine, no problem at all. All of his little armor flaps are hinged, so you can get these guys out of the way, and that's because the legs have a ton of range once you move those. It does sound very plasticky, but the ratchets hold, so that's fine. You can bring the leg basically horizontal, not quite. Maybe even one more, let's see. Yeah, so you can get it horizontal, so that works really well. You probably want to hold it by this black part, by the way, while you're doing it, because if you do it down here, you could break something in here, because you get a lot of torque on a figure this big. They do go all the way back if you want to also. For like a running pose, you can bring them just about all the way back. And then you can bring the leg all the way out to the side. He's got probably the best posability out of any Optimus figure that I've ever seen. So, yeah, it can't transform, but did you really need another semi-truck toy? Probably not. Thigh swivel works just fine. No problems there. Double jointed knee. Really good range for the double jointed knee. And then for the ankle. You can't bring the toe too far forward, but that's pretty far. You can get it out there. So you can move the foot pretty far forward. Just a little bit back, not that far back. It does get limited in that way. But then you also have a rocker, an ankle rocker in there. So you can put him in just about any pose, and he doesn't have too much trouble holding his poses. I mean, he balances fairly well. He's got giant lower legs, so that helps. But, you know, it's a really solid figure. It's not the best Optimus figure in the world in every aspect, but it's definitely, at least to my knowledge, the biggest in terms of like collectible figures. And as far as I know, it's the most articulated. So if you can get past the fact that it's maybe a different red than you're used to, or maybe that it doesn't transform, then it's definitely one you want to pick up. Because at $170, that's a steal for a figure this size with all of this articulation. It's really an imposing figure, and if you're a Transformers fan, I think you probably should get one. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any. And make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And then in the meantime, keep collecting.